It seems even a simple walk on the beach is out under lockdown level 3. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? Cooperative Governance Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma has gazetted details on the extended prohibition on frequenting beaches, dams, rivers and public pools in hotspot areas.
Well, in this case, beach means the sandy, pebbly or even rocky shore near public water. But Lindsay Dentlinger is in Cape Town now for the very latest. Lindsay, I mean, what do you have for us there on the ground? I'm sure it's not, the news that especially was hospitality industries were hoping to get, or even beach goers, but what's the latest there?
Tamara, good morning. So there seems to be maybe a bit of confusion, misinterpretation of those latest regulations as regarding beaches. As you well point out, beaches have been banned in this province now since the end of December, and the minister moving in these latest regulations to clarify exactly the extent of where someone may move in proximity to the beach. And there is this new 100-meter rule that has now been put into effect as pertains to beaches. And as I said, seems to be some confusion that this is being interpreted to mean also these hard surfaced areas like where I'm standing on the Sea Point Promenade and surrounds. But I've spoken to the minister's spokesperson, also to city law enforcement, and they say that's not their understanding, and that 100 meters now included in those regulations as pertains to the beach is purely on actual beach sand, on rocks, on pebbles, things that extend to being what we understand to be the beach, which is now also being clarified in these latest regulations. Jamila, I'm just going to move out of shot for you just a moment so Crescendo Low behind the camera can just show you that here on the Sea Point Promenade, things carrying on as normal for a morning like this. People walking dogs, going for a run, pushing children in prams, or just getting some fresh air and an early morning walk. Those that I've spoke to saying that they didn't even know that the regulations have been amended slightly to put a distance to how far away they may be from the beach. But as I say, the minister's spokesperson and city authorities clarifying for me this morning that this does not include hard surfaced areas and purely pertains to being on the beach itself. So for now, people can enjoy these areas, as I said, somewhat quieter here this morning than you would ordinarily see this promenade.
And you wonder why that needed to be clarified. I mean, there are hardly any people on the beach anyway. I mean, are you seeing security forces? What's happening and how? And tell us a little bit more about how people feel about these regulations.
Well, Jane, I think people are kind of behaving themselves. As you know, this has now been a regulation in force here in the Western Cape since before the Christmas holidays. So people are well aware that they're not allowed to be on the beach. We don't really see too many Metro Police officers out here this morning. And as I said, I think people by now know the rules and know that they are not supposed to go down onto the beach. And so sticking to where they are. I spoke to one lady a little earlier who said she was quite in agreement with the fact that maybe people should not be allowed on beaches. Especially along this promenade where they're rather like little coves and maybe too small to have, large groups of people gather, and that maybe that if they were going to allow people on the beaches, it had to be very vast stretches of beach. But then again, she acknowledged who would police all of that. So I think people are kind of complying. They know they're not supposed to go down on the beach, and they're having to make do with getting their exercise here on areas adjacent to the beach and not trying to go down where they're not supposed to be and bathe.
All right, Lindsay, that's where we'll leave it, but thank you so much for this update, eNCA's Lindsay Dentlinger.